We do get to hear from the quarterbacks for the first time this spring on Saturday, Nick. I put out a thread on our message board at Gators Online asking for questions. And obviously, we got a lot. People want to know about these quarterbacks. No matter who's under center, it's going to be a new guy. I mean, Miller started the Las Vegas Bowl, but he's still pretty much brand new to Florida fans. And Graham Mertz, though, is the guy that I think folks want to hear from. Obviously, coming over from Wisconsin, he spoke to Scott Carter from FloridaGators.com last week for kind of his first interview since transferring over to Florida, and basically said that it's been a smooth transition for him. One thing that I guess didn't really realize or remember during his recruitment is there has been a change for him going from under center to shotgun. So that's something that he's had to adjust to this spring. But I think coming in, he knows that this is a battle between him and Jack, and he's really had to come and there are some things that Jack has, an advantage on. So he's had to come in and really play catch up with the playbook. Just, I think, getting the systems down, getting the expectations of this program down. But now that they're on the grass, he certainly seems like there's a reason why he's getting those first team reps.
Yeah, and we've talked about it on the show, Zach. It might seem trivial, but just his locker placement, his being placed directly between the quarterback of the offensive line and Kingsley Eggercon, the center, and the quarterback of the defense with Trahaja Mitchell. You put him right in between the two of them. It's not to say that Florida is stacking the odds against Jack Miller, but I think the Gators, Billy Napier, want Graham Mertz to be the starting quarterback. Not that they're going to give it to him, but they want him to win that job. Graham didn't transfer here to sit on the bench. He's got 1 year left. I think he has 2 to play 1, but 1 year left to play. He came here to start. Billy Napier loves everything he heard about him, loves the experience he has. Jack Miller, not his fault. Only 1 start, 31 less than Graham Mertz.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
That's more than 2 years of games. So Graham started a bunch, playing against the tough defenses like Rutgers and Purdue and Indiana. It's going to be a little bit different in the SEC. I think the coaches are excited with what he's brought just in terms of his investment and his buy-in. But it's like you said, it's still a battle. I think Mertz is, based on what we see and the people we talk to, is ahead. It's a lot to be determined, though. And hey, maybe Max Brown starts.
Well, hey, I mean, he's ahead, but you're talking about Max Brown, who's never started, and Jack Miller, who started 1 game. So he doesn't have a lot to be ahead of in terms of. It didn't take much for him to stand out, I think, in some of the areas of practice. Now he's still got to perform. He's got to go out there and lead that first team offense down the field on some of these drives. And we're about to get more of that here in spring camp with scrimmages coming up. What have been your thoughts on Max from what you've seen, Nick? You put out those 3 videos yesterday of them throwing to the running backs, and looks like he had the best rep.
Yeah, it's always funny, and like we're taking as much video as you can. I'm not even really watching
of routes on air.
Routes on air. I'm not watching really what I'm putting out, and then I get like some reactions. Why would you put that out there? Rival fans are going to troll us. I'm like, you can only get trolled if you let yourself get trolled, my guy. It's one rep from practice 5, and people are like, oh my God, Max Brown's clearly the best quarterback. And I'm like, there's no pass rush. there's nobody there. Maybe the ball slipped out of somebody else's hand. Like, you can't make a declarative judgment on the depth chart based on 1 wheel route on air.
Good ball placement, though, Nick.
He's got to start. Start him. Give him the program. I don't know. I think it's a two-man race. I think it's Mertz and Miller, the law firm, and with Brown waiting to get his name on the door of the firm, but not there yet. And then obviously we think you need another quarterback. They added the 2 preferred walk-ons, but you need 4 scholarship quarterbacks. So I think if you're watching on YouTube, the two guys on the left there are the guys that will really compete for the job. And as you said, I think Mertz is ahead. It's interesting because a lot more will be gleaned based on the scrimmage, which we won't be allowed to go to, but means that we're just pounding the phones to talk to people who were at the scrimmage. So I think we'll learn a lot more based on how these two perform in the scrimmage, first scrimmage, second scrimmage, and then obviously everyone will be able to see it Thursday night, for the orange and blue debut.
Any questions that you've got specifically for any of these guys, or just some things that you want to hear? I mean, I'm interested to see where Jack is at, because the last time I can remember speaking to him, Nick, it was after the spring game.
Yeah.
When Anthony just went off and Jack looked shell-shocked that, he came here to compete for a job that he thought that he could contend for, and he's just had no chance to beat out AR. And here he is in his second year, and he already looks like he's, got his work cut out for him again. So I'm interested to see just where his head is at and his confidence level, because there's no way he doesn't feel some type of way about Graham coming in and, getting the upper hand.
He's gotta be like, bruh. Bruh. After the spring game, Jack looked like, this guy didn't have any film, had no idea who he was or that he was even here. Somebody bamboozled me to come here. And then now it's like, all right, that guy's gone. Whew, thank God, it's going to be my time. And then you go get a guy who started 32 games. And he's got to be like, I've been hoodwinked. Billy, I've been hoodwinked. It can't feel good, but at the end of the day, Graham wasn't promised to be the starter. You're going to get every opportunity. You just have to perform. And that's where that's for every position, but specifically for Jack, it's there is no starting quarterback right now. As we sit here on March 23rd, the Florida Gators don't have a starting quarterback. You and I last year could have said on March 23rd, Anthony Richardson is the starting quarterback. But you don't have one right now. So that means Jack can go and win this job.